The site you're looking at right now was built, launched, and delivered to the client in less time than it takes the average dev team to respond to your email. And you're probably thinking, how fast is that? Faster than your dad falling asleep on the couch. Faster than your client changing their mind. Again. Faster than Han Solo making the Kessel Run. That's a nerdy reference. Faster than your ex moving on from your last relationship.
Why did she leave me?
Let's be honest, waiting 3 to 6 weeks for your developer is killing your momentum and ultimately crushing your business. Here's the big problem that we deal with website development. Clients want turnaround times fast. Dev resources can be expensive and sometimes slow. And lastly, you could be stuck waiting for delivery of the website or spending half of your budget on development. I've had all of these problems just like you have, and the solution for me was Framer. Doesn't have to be your solution, but it's my solution because now I can design and build websites not in weeks, but in a matter of days. And for me, that means more profit, more bottom line, more control over the end result, and less hassle and back and forth communication with developers. Don't get me wrong, we love developers. We need you good developers out there. But for a simple 3 to 5 page website, I can do that. Now, the downside in the past of using platforms that would allow you to have fast turnaround times or allowing me to create something as a designer was usually a lack in quality. But now I don't have to sacrifice quality. I can have all of that quality and all of the speed in one beautiful little website building baby. So let's talk about my simple process for turning around websites like this one in a matter of days. Let's talk about the big headache and get it out of the way first. Step one, you're gonna need all the content. You're gonna need visual direction and maybe some visual assets to work with. For me, this was very, very easy for this project because I built an entire mobile application and a web application. So we did their branding, their mobile app, their web app. I had all the ammunition I needed, and the client also provided me the content for this single page landing page. If you don't have that, you're gonna have to go back to your normal design process and start to get that content, collect assets you need, and build at least the start of that visual direction. Step two is to establish the layout and the structure of your pages. To do that, you're gonna have to build wireframes, and wireframes can be really, really taxing. And here's the issue with wireframes. We're usually redesigning similar layouts to create custom wireframes. You don't need to do that. So here's some ways that I do this. You can either go right into Framer, start your project, go to insert, and use the new wireframer capabilities. We can ask for a landing page. In this case, we prompted it to say, with a hero-like banner, a logo string, some features, and a newsletter section. Press go and let AI do the work for you. In about 15 seconds, Framer has provided for me mobile and responsive versions of my page. I have a hero section, I have a navigation up top, all the things that we asked for in the prompt. I can continue to tweak this or prompt this into existence to my liking, but that got me started. That got me away from that blank canvas. Now, if you're the type of person that really struggles to look at a wireframe and figure out how they're gonna become websites like this, you need to figure out how to look beyond the wireframe. Use the wireframe as a guideline. You're looking at content and structure. It doesn't have to be cookie cutter. You can iterate and evolve on this and add some individuality. I like to look at Contra for stuff like this because it's a great place for inspiration. We're gonna talk more about this, but you can see right here on Contra that that's a pretty standard website layout, but there's some organic elements that have been added. Instead of doing one image in this center aligned lockup, we did a series of Polaroids. There's great examples here on Contra. If you're not the type of person that could look at those blocky structures of a wireframe and visualize where it's gonna go, then start to look at wireframes and inspirations on Contra at the same time to figure out what's possible. If you don't like the idea of prompting something into existence, playing around with prompts, customizing, if that still feels like too much work to you, then I might recommend to you to use some sort of pre-built library. I like FramePad. I've used it for a lot of my projects, and I used it for this project. It is a pre-built library of components, sections, elements that you can just slap into your project. You basically download it, install it into your Framer workspace, duplicate it for a new project, and now you have access to a bunch of pre-built components that all are immediately responsive to all of your other breakpoints. I can simply add tablet and phone. If I don't like the sections that I've added, I can go hunting over here for new sections like hero sections and metric sections and feature sections. Grab any one of these that you like, simply copy and paste it into your layout, and boom, you have your wireframe complete. Step 3 is to do the visual design work, and you can either do that directly in Framer, or what I like to do is import your layout and structure directly into Figma and then do all of your visual design work there. This is really simple. You publish your site, grab that URL, head back into Framer, and then I use the html.to.design plugin. All you have to do is drop in that URL and then do the import, and look what I got. All of my different break sizes or breakpoints for my website and the layout, all I have to do is start visualizing and designing here. I brought in a sample of the mobile application as an inspiration, and you can see I took those layouts and I started to tweak and riff and play to design something that I like. Now, if you find yourself getting a little bit stumped because when you look at structured layouts like these ones and you're asking yourself, well, how might I modify a hero section like this, or a value proposition or stats and metrics section like this, I would recommend heading over to something like Contra and seeing what other people are doing. This is the new place for inspiration. Here you'll find a lot of layouts that are actually just visual implementations of your standard layout sections. And so looking at inspiration on something like Contra can be incredibly helpful to stir up those creative juices and figure out how you're gonna lay out this structure. Step 4 is to bring your designs from Figma back into Framer. And there's two very fast and simple options to do this. Number one, maybe your design is really simple, and the visual design that you laid on top of it is not as complex or really needs a lot of tweaking and changing. In that case, you might just want to start downloading the assets, the images, the background images, and everything you've placed in here, get those down to your machine locally and start importing them into your Framer project. To do this, all you have to do is detach the instances of those components, and now everything is individually customizable. I can start dragging in the image to replace this one, changing the text, removing elements to match my design mockup. And if you do that, you're going to save yourself a lot of time because those FramePad wireframes are already built to work responsively, to keep the layout clean and structured. All you have to do is drag and drop elements inside of it, and your site starts building out very quickly. The second option is to use Framer's plugin inside of Figma. Simply open up the plugin, select the section that you want to import, hit Figma to HTML with Framer. It's going to copy all of the elements in that section, and you can copy them to the clipboard. Simply come back over to Framer, paste that in, and you have your section inside of your website, and from there you can tweak and change to your liking. Either one of these options will allow you to get your elements into your website very quickly and get ready to launch. At this point, your website is in Framer. Now it's time to customize to your liking. First thing I like to do is add my global styles so that I stay consistent. All of my text styles, link styles, and color styles have been set up, and I add animations to the individual elements and sections of my website. From there, all you have to do is press publish, and you have a staging version of your website ready to send to your client, and they are going to be stoked. Now let's talk about the freelance business angle of this and how it can actually help to grow and scale your freelance business. Number one, speed of execution means more client trust. It means higher perceived value, faster cash flow, and the ability to take on more clients every single month. Also, a process like this allows you to establish really clearly defined packages for your clients. For instance, one of your packages could be a 3-page marketing site in 1 week with SEO copy and animations and visuals. That's a pretty compelling offer. Or how about portfolio refresh in 48 hours? And another part of your strategy should be promotion of this skill set and these packages. Something like Contra is a great place to do that because not only can you start to upload your work and show this value proposition, but you can also apply to be part of Framer's expert program through Contra. You get that badge, people see you as a serious value offer. Let's start talking about some of the objections that you probably have running in the back of your mind right now, starting with scale. Can a Framer website scale, and can my business scale using something like Framer? And I would say yes and amen to both. A Framer website can scale. You can start off with a single page landing page for a client and then continue to build onto that for them on a retainer basis or over your client relationship with them. And also your business can scale because this is part of niching down. You can also find people on Contra doing this same thing. If you search for Framer, you'll find tons of people who are earning on Framer, hitting big milestones on Framer, and delivering clean and outstanding work. And like I said, if you apply to be part of Framer's expert program through Contra, you become an expert program on Framer's site as well. They can actually start recommending leads to you, and you can start to really specialize in Framer website builds. So yes, the sites themselves can scale, and yes, your business can scale using something like Framer. Framer. Maybe you have an objection about the limitations of Framer as a platform. And to that, I'd say you can do anything your heart desires and that your imagination allows you to. Here's some great examples on Contra's website about some of the amazing sites that you can build using Framer. We're talking about unique, interesting branded, interesting animations and executions. This is not your standard WYSIWYG builder where you're very limited to the layouts that are offered and you just have to modify. This is true customization at scale, but with fast turnarounds. The last objection you might have might not even be your objection. It might be your client's objection when they say something like, yeah, but I want a Webflow site or I want a WordPress site. When clients give me those objections, usually they're just thinking about some sort of functionality, something they heard from a friend or wanting to be able to update or use their platform easily in the future. By diagnosing and figuring out what's important to them, you can let them know that usually when they're looking for a CMS, Framer has that. Easy updates to their content, Framer has that. SEO, Framer's got that. Being able to add new pages themselves, we got that under control. I want to end with some encouragement, which is don't just sit here and watch what I'm doing, you start doing it. Pick a client or personal project and start trying a process like this and building a fast turnaround site inside of Framer. If you do build something rad, make sure to tag me online. You can find me on Contra, on Instagram, on Twitter, or here on YouTube. I would love to see your creations as well. If you want to read more about this process, I have an entire post over on Contra that you can check out that details every step of this process to help you build your freelance business. And if you like the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I do lots of videos just like these about design, development, and freelance business. So ring that bell so you know when another one like this one comes out. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.